jumping into the long weekend. Whether you call it the August Long, a Colonel By Day celebration, or Ironman weekend,
a long but fun day.
The city is bustling and busy and seems like just about everyone is trying to get in or out. A new enemy on the roads.
There's really no safe amount of drugs that they can take and drive safely.
And a sober reminder to drive safe. Drugs have taken over alcohol as the leading cause of fatal collisions. And the cutest commute.
Turtles in general are decreasing in the province. If I can help out a little bit, at least we can keep the species going.
Normally slow on the go, these turtles get a hand up and a lift forward by the Turtle Taxi volunteers. Good evening. The city is bustling with tourists and residents tonight, all who are getting set to enjoy the long weekend. Roads and highways are clogged with traffic as people head in and out of Ottawa. And this year, it is the final long weekend before kids head back to class, with elementary and high school students all going back before Labor Day. As we take a live look now at traffic this hour, and it has been very busy throughout the afternoon. It was very thick on the highway as we're into the tail end of the commute now and seeing some of the spots where it's moving quite well. As soon as you get into the core, the urban part of the city, both the highway and the smaller side roads just really, really busy. You may be looking at some alternate means of transportation this weekend. As CTV's Natalie Van Roy joins us with more on the weekend ahead. Natalie.
Patricia, it's a beautiful day to be outside, and people were soaking up the sunshine this afternoon. The downtown core is packed with people, and the highways are certainly busy as everyone gets ready to take in all that summer has to offer. Jumping into the August long weekend.
We're going swimming.
A chance to swim, boat, or soak up the sun in Ottawa.
Absolutely. Happy to be here. This was a big part of the plan, was to come to the River House our first time here. And so we did a little bit of a bike trip along the river and back here for a swim and ice cream.
Cyclists on the trails inspired ahead of Sunday's Ironman.
My brother, he'll be doing the Ironman for the second time.
The highway's busy as people head in and out of town to the cottage or on a road trip.
I'm going to go up to my cottage and hopefully do some fishing and skiing.
Safety a priority, with police on the lookout for speeding and impaired driving.
OPP Ottawa officers will be out patrolling for the big four offenses, which is seatbelt, speeding, impaired operation, and distracted driving. This weekend, we will also focus on fail to move over offenses.
At the pumps, drivers facing higher gas prices.
Today they were a little higher than usual. Got to get all the work done so I can empty the truck out and put all the camping gear in it.
For Joseph Woodrow and his family, the camping trip a chance to connect during the final long weekend before kids head back to the classroom.
Yeah, she's got about 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks before she goes back.
The Byward Market bustling with vendors and people on patios at restaurants. Back at the docks of the NCC River House, a packed crowd soaking in the sunshine.
It's kind of midsummer. September long weekend is the end of summer, so this one is enjoy the vacation part of summer.
And there's plenty of things to do this holiday long weekend. The Red Blacks play at home tonight. The Ironman starts Sunday, and it's the final weekend of Chamber Fest, and the Le Grand fireworks show is tomorrow night. Patricia.
All good, but man, I do love that NCC River House. Such a success story for the NCC, especially on a day like this, Natalie.
It was beautiful.
CTV's Natalie Van Roy live for us tonight. Have a good weekend. And for anyone planning on driving out of town or going on a road trip, you do want to wait to fill up if you can. Gas prices are expected to drop 6 cents a litre overnight, which will bring the average price to about $1.74 here in Ottawa. Diesel prices are expected to drop 7 cents a litre tomorrow. As we take a look now at what will be open and closed on Colonel By Day, OC Transpo will run on a Saturday schedule. There will not be any green bin, recycling, or garbage collection on Monday. Pickup will be delayed by 1 day all week. All city client service centres will be closed. Malls and grocery stores will be open. Well, here's a live look now through our Centennial Glass Skycam. This beautiful evening in Ottawa, 29 degrees, very warm, still humid as well as we get the long weekend started. Today might have been the best part of the long weekend for anyone who took the Friday off, and it seems like a lot of you did. We have some increase in cloud into the evening and overnight. Chance of showers tomorrow, a better chance we will see some rain or shower activity on Sunday. Cooler temperatures on Sunday as well. As we look at the next 24 hours, so 25 degrees at 8 o'clock. You'll wake up to potentially a mixed bag and 20 degrees early in the morning, then about a 30% chance of showers. We are going to get a little warmer than we originally had anticipated for tomorrow. 27 degrees will be the high right now in the capital. Did I tell you warm? 29 still feels like 33 out there this evening. Well, breaking news tonight, WestJet is starting to park its planes ahead of a looming strike by flight attendants, creating travel chaos for thousands heading into the long weekend. CTV's Beth McDonnell has the latest.
WestJet customers are nervous, whether they're flying shortly before the deadline.
We changed our flight for today, and we're going one way to Vancouver.
Or need to be back home later this month.
We're going to the Philippines. We're only there for 2 weeks. We have no news if that's going to affect our flight.
This afternoon, an update from the airline. The company says negotiations haven't resulted in an agreement, and it must begin the difficult process of parking Boeing 737 planes. This necessary step allows the airline to maintain operational control and protect the integrity of the broader network. Most importantly, this proactive measure minimizes the risk of stranding guests and aircraft. WestJet is allowing passengers between now and Tuesday to cancel their flights or make one-time changes to their bookings.
So if you're someone who needs to catch a cruise, whether it be in Florida or Europe or wherever, and you need to get there, I would probably book a fully refundable flight or find alternative methods just to get there. If you're a week out, yeah, you could probably sit and wait for a few more days.
The cabin crew's main sticking points are over wages and compensation for work when planes are not in the air.
You have to report at the airport an hour before the flight leaves. When you get on the plane, you have to do checks that are mandated by Transport Canada. So these are making sure that all of the safety equipment on the plane is working. Then you have boarding, and during boarding, we're briefing passengers. There's lots and lots of things. You're not paid for the time that you're sitting in between flights.
Air Canada flight attendants went on strike last year for the same reason, the dispute affecting 500,000 passengers. But not all hope is lost. Having a deadline when parties are far apart can allow for the right conditions for a deal, says this labor expert.
The way that it should work is that deadline creates that pressure cooker environment and creates the incentive to sort of knock your heads together and overcome your differences.
Passengers ready to board planes today are feeling relieved.
Yeah, it would be a nightmare if I got it after.
Happy to be on their way before flights could be canceled. Beth McDonnell, CTV News.
And stay with CTV News for continuing coverage of the looming strike by WestJet flight attendants. We'll have updates on radio, on News Talk 580 CFRA, and on CTV News Channel. If you are driving this weekend, expect to see an increased police presence on the roads and highways. Officers will be conducting ride checkpoints looking for impaired drivers. It comes amid troubling new data about the cause of fatal collisions in Canada. CTV's Kimberley Fowler is in studio with the details. Kimberley.
Well, Patricia, a new report from the Traffic Injury Research Foundation shows drug impairment is now the leading factor in road deaths across the country. The data shows that in 2023, 41% of all fatal crashes involved drug impairment, and that's up from 35% in 2019. And since 2013, drug-related collisions surpassed fatal crashes involving alcohol, distracted driving, or speeding. Now, the report also shows that most drug-related fatal collisions occur at night between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. Most involve young adults aged 20 to 34 with just one person in the vehicle. Mothers Against Drunk Driving says the stats are frustrating, but not surprising.
But it's also really important for people to understand that there's really no way for an individual to know how many drugs they can consume before they reach impairment. So there's really no safe amount of drugs that they can take and drive safely. So it's really frustrating to see these numbers increase after saying this message over and over again for decades.
OPP will be on the lookout for impaired driving this long weekend with aerial traffic enforcement happening south of here in areas including Peterborough, Kawartha Lakes, and Orillia. Now, the Traffic Injury Research Foundation's report also adds that more focus needs to be put on education, enforcement, and preventing people from impaired driving. And that, of course, goes for drugs and alcohol. Patricia.
CTV's Kimberley Fowler live for us tonight. Thank you. Still ahead, where there's a caber toss, there's a Glengarry Highland Games, the pipe band competition, and all of the Celtic traditions. We take you to Maxville, coming up. Devastating news for Ottawa's theatre community. Meridian Theatres at Centrepoint will remain closed for at least the remainder of the year because of flood damage. The city forced to cancel all shows, plays, and productions that were scheduled for the remainder of 2026. The building apparently suffered significant flood damage during the Canada Day storms. Local production companies now scrambling to find alternative plans.
We do know that the theatre experienced significant damage on the main stage itself, into the audience rows with a lot of seating, and primarily under the stage where the orchestra would typically go, in the pit, the hallways and the backstage areas down there. I don't know the full extent, but I do know it's realistic to understand why they have to remain closed for the remainder of the year.
Orpheus Musical Theatre forced to postpone its production of Frozen that was scheduled for November. The city says it will help find other venues. All ticket holders will be offered refunds. Well, the largest increase to the Ottawa Police budget in more than a decade, still not enough to cover the costs the service is facing. It's projecting at least a $21 million deficit this year. CTV's Kimberley Johnson joins us in studio to break down the numbers. Kimberley.
Patricia, a number of the new report shows there are several factors putting pressure on the budget, including overtime and rising fuel costs.
Protests and demonstrations like these among the reasons the Ottawa Police say they are facing a budget deficit this year of millions of dollars.
It's a real check-in.
A new report shows the Ottawa Police Service is facing a projected deficit between $21 and $25 million in 2026. The largest financial pressure, $10 million in non-recoverable overtime, which the Police Service Board says includes policing for things such as unplanned protests.
It's really important that we don't lose sight of the public safety aspect when we are considering the budget. And so these expenses are part and parcel of that we have to plan for.
The report also cites other factors for the budget shortfall, including $3.6 million in employee benefits and $1 million in rising fuel prices. In 2026, the Ottawa Police Service received the largest budget increase it had seen in 15 years. Some groups say this latest deficit shows that there should be more oversight.
Clearly, the police aren't good stewards of taxpayer dollars.
The budget for 2026, $414 million. Advocacy group Horizon Ottawa says after multiple years of deficit budgets, there should be a budget freeze and a review.
We need candidates in this election who will commit to do things like freezing the police budget, because it's clear that the police can't do that on their own.
The $21 million deficit is currently a projection. The board says a plan is underway to review spending for future budgets to avoid deficits.
Look at some long-range financial planning, and the Ottawa Police Service is totally on side for that. So we're not just doing 1 year off budgets, but we're actually planning 3-4 years out, concrete planning on what type of expenses are realistic.
The report shows the police have found $8.9 million in savings this year, which includes a salary and hiring freeze. The board's Finance and Audit Committee will discuss the budget deficit and possible strategies to address it on August 7th. Patricia.
CTV's Kimberley Johnson live for us tonight. Thank you. Well, just weeks after the World Cup, FIFA is embroiled in controversy with growing opposition to a plan to sell stakes in the tournament to private investors. CTV's Joy Melbourne has the details.
After the world celebrated the passion of football, FIFA is now in a fight over money and control. President Gianni Infantino's plan to sell World Cup profits to private investors is facing a major backlash. His closest advisor, Carlos Cordeiro, resigned in protest, calling it a bad deal for football. A second FIFA official, Chief Operating Officer Kevin Lamour, says staff were deceived and members never consulted. And Europe's governing soccer body, UEFA, declared the World Cup is not for sale. All 55 member nations voted unanimously to boycott FIFA competition until the plan is pulled.
Nobody wants to boycott any game of football, never mind a World Cup game. But we've been pushed into this by a proposal that was so damaging it could have dismantled the whole infrastructure of the game.
Also raising red flags, potential lead investor Joshua Kushner, younger brother of Jared, President Donald Trump's son-in-law and close advisor.
Did FIFA or Mr. Infantino speak to you about their proposal to sell a stake in the World Cup? No, I never spoke to him.
If Gianni pushes ahead, critics argue that commercializing the World Cup will tarnish the beautiful game.
This is another example of terrible governance within FIFA, but I think this time Infantino and FIFA have gone a step too far.
Facing a revolt and a deadline of September 19th, FIFA's president is offering members a payout of $20 million if they agree to bring private investors into World Cup business. Joy Malvin, CTV News, Washington.
Well, many of us will be relaxing this long weekend. Over 3,000 athletes will be pushing themselves to the absolute limit in the Ironman Ottawa. Athletes visiting Majors Hill Park today picking up their kits for Sunday's race event. It will begin with a 3.8-kilometer swim at Britannia, followed by a 180-kilometer bike ride, and then a full marathon. Athletes from around the world arriving in the city for the event.
Proving stuff that you just can. Yeah, pushing past that self-doubt.
A long but fun day.
It's my first Ironman race. Full attempt. My best friend's doing it too, and we're from Colorado, and we're excited to be here in Canada.
A long but fun day that begins at 6 a.m. The race will then finish at Majors Hill Park. There will be several road closures in Ottawa and Gatineau for the event. The Alexandra Bridge, the Chaudière Crossing, the Champlain Bridge, and the Portage Bridge will all be closed at various times during the day. Some major roads will also be closed starting at 3 a.m. Sunday, including the Kitchissippi-Macon, Island Park Drive, Sir Georges-Étienne-Cartier Parkway, Carling Avenue, Wellington, Colonel By Drive, Sussex, Queen Elizabeth Driveway, and Prince of Wales, to name just a few. We have extended coverage of this weekend's Ironman, including what participants, spectators, and residents need to know about the event, and the full list of road closures, course maps, all online, ctvnewsottawa.ca.
We wouldn't be able to have the province-wide impact that we do without those dedicated volunteers.
Well, coming up, how a network of turtle taxi volunteers are helping to save injured turtles here in our region and right across the province. As we take another live look through our Centennial Glass Skycam, a beautiful Friday night ahead of a long weekend. It is 29 degrees out there. It'll cool off just slightly into tomorrow.
Ottawa is always on the move.
We're a big city
with a laid-back vibe,
where foodies love their sweets
and markets bursting with flavor,
wrapped up in waterways
and hot summer days.
This is a city where culture is on display.
And the future
meets the past.
Where people come together.
Always proud.
Often loud. Whee!
And positively the best place to live.
We move with you, Ottawa!
Well, they're called Turtle Taxi Volunteers. They help ferry injured turtles from across the province to the Ontario Conservation Centre in Peterborough. And the one-of-a-kind Turtle Hospital is seeing an extremely busy year. CTV's Caitlin Wilson has more.
Hello, Connie.
How are you?
Pleasure to meet you in person.
Yeah, nice. What started as a rescue is now a relay.
So we have one snapper, small.
A relay stretching hundreds of kilometers, all to give turtles like this one a chance.
During the night, it is a snapping turtle.
This snapping turtle was found near Monkland in North Stormont after being hit by a car. And while it didn't survive its injuries, its journey isn't over.
If it's a female carrying eggs, that could be a dozen turtle lives at stake. So we can recover a lot of eggs, even if the turtle itself doesn't make it.
Gavin Kramer and Connie Schultz are two of more than 1,600 turtle taxi volunteers in a province-wide network of people in vet clinics relaying sick and injured turtles to the Ontario Turtle Conservation Centre in Peterborough.
We wouldn't be able to have the province-wide impact that we do without those dedicated volunteers.
And like any relay, this turtle is passed from one volunteer to the next, from Monkland to Kemptville, then off to Perth before arriving in Peterborough.
Turtles in general are decreasing in the province, just like all the all our native like pollinators, everything else. So if I can help out a little bit, at least we can keep the species going.
And this year, volunteers are busier than ever. More than 1,900 turtles have already been admitted to the Conservation Centre this season, compared to around 2,200 in all of last year.
We're not entirely sure whether it's a matter of just more turtles and more roads and things like that, or if it's a matter of we've got a lot of folks that are directing turtles to us.
From early spring until late fall, especially during the summer months, turtles will often end up right here along gravel shoulders like this, looking for places to lay their eggs. And if you do spot a turtle and it's safe to do so, experts say you can help it across the road in the direction it was going. Unfortunately, this turtle couldn't be saved, but its eggs could still give the next generation a chance to cross the finish line. Caitlin Wilson, CTV News.
Wow. Well, it is a beautiful start to the long weekend in the capital. Some choosing to spend the day on a boat on the Rideau Canal. Looks like a great choice. Perfect weather for that, warm temperatures and sunny skies. But you may want to get outside tonight if you can, because unfortunately there is a little bit of rain in the weekend forecast as we take a closer look for you here. So for the most part, clear skies overnight, or in the evening hours anyway. We'll see more cloud moving in overnight. We could have a shower tomorrow morning early before that moves out for the most part for the day, but Sunday is looking like it could be quite wet for you. So we're going to get to that in just a moment as we take a look at our cross-Canada picture. And we are seeing 19 degrees in Charlottetown today, 13 in St. John's, 20 with a mix of sun and cloud and a couple of showers in Halifax. Still some pretty good heat in the prairies, but before we get to that, 29 degrees in Toronto, 28 in Windsor with a mix of sun and cloud. And for the most part, in the high 20s through Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta. 27, 28, 29 degrees. When you get out to Vancouver, you'll see 24 and mostly sunny skies. Overnight tonight, we are looking at fairly reasonable temperatures. 18 degrees right here in Ottawa. Could see some stormier weather to the north of us. 17 in Bancroft, 18 in Trenton and Kingston, 19 degrees overnight in Brockville. 17 to the north in Maniwaki, 19 in Petawawa, and 19 in Gatineau as well. 18, some cloud cover in Kemptville, 16 in Mont-Tremblant. Montreal holding on to a little bit of heat at 20 degrees. And for your high tomorrow on your Saturday, it looks like this, 27 with a mix of sun and cloud and maybe a shower or two here in Ottawa, 25 in Bancroft and in Kingston, 26 for the most part in other parts of our region, 27 degrees, just a little cooler to the northeast. As we take a look at your 7-day forecast brought to you by Davison Hearing Aid Centers, celebrating over 80 years in family business. So 27 degrees for your Saturday, and then we're going to see a dip on Sunday. 24, we have a greater chance of some rain on Sunday, but cooler temperatures for the Ironman, so that might be a good thing for some good times out there. Monday, 40% chance of showers in 26. We have more sunshine and warmer temperatures into Tuesday and Wednesday. Well, big congratulations to the winner of our Sips and Sparkles contest. Melanie Amelin and 3 of her friends have each won a $500 gift card to Charm Diamond Centers and a dinner at Riviera. Enjoy. Well, it's an end to precedent-setting legal battle. Gay and bisexual men in this country will soon be allowed to donate to sperm banks. After 3.5 years of litigation, Health Canada confirming it will eliminate restrictions that advocates called discriminatory. CTV's Rachel Aiello has the details.
Only after this gay man launched a constitutional challenge is Health Canada eliminating barriers that prevented gay and bisexual men from donating to this country's much-in-need sperm banks.
I'm very happy that things turns out this way.
Before coming out, Aziz donated to a Toronto sperm bank, helping a lesbian couple grow their family. But after learning federal policy deemed him unsuitable just because of his sexual orientation, he decided to fight back.
Why I started doing this is really the discrimination.
For decades, Canada banned all gay and bisexual men from ever donating to sperm banks. The rules changed in 2020, allowing it if they'd been abstinent for 3 months. Aziz took the government to court in 2023, and a year later, Health Canada pivoted to behaviour-based screening. But his legal team argued that change just replaced an explicit ban with an implicit one, and so they fought on. And just as they were feeling confident in the case they'd be presenting at a pending hearing, the Federal Health Agency declared it was updating its donor testing requirements again.
This change represents an important and precedent-setting step.
Alongside new advanced infectious disease testing, as of this fall, Health Canada is eliminating those questions that precluded gay and bisexual men from donating if they'd had more than one or a new sexual partner in the last 3 months.
Quarantine period and then the subsequent testing is absolutely sufficient for the safety of that sperm to be used in donation.
Affidavits filed by experts in the case confirmed the donor procedures already in place are more than enough to protect against risk, including the transmission of HIV.
This policy change makes me very happy because we want to see policy align with science.
LGBTQ2S+ advocates say they're relieved and a little frustrated that it took this long for the government to right a wrong that was based on outdated data and beliefs.
I'm also really filled with so much gratitude towards Aziz for tirelessly fighting this issue.
CTV News requested an interview with Federal Health Minister Marjorie Michel, but she was not available. In a statement, her office said the government, quote, supports changes that make sperm donation safer and more inclusive, while supporting continued public confidence in the donation process. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
From bagpipes to Highland dancing, it is a celebration of all things Scottish. Coming up, we head to the annual Glengarry Highland Games. And we have a new pop quiz online tonight. You can test your knowledge of the week's news. Take the quiz at ctvnewsottawa.ca.
Tonight, preparing for the possibility of a WestJet strike.
The parties are at the table right now, and Canadians expect them to stay at that table and get a deal.
What the airline did today that points to a possible shutdown. Later on CTV National News and watch on Crave.
CTV News community and weather anchor Jackie Perez. Weeknights.
Baseball fans and their pups at the Ottawa Baseball Stadium last night for the Titans bark in the park. And the Titans beat the Sussex County Miners 12-5. There's another theme night tonight, Taylor's version for the Taylor Swift fans. The first 1,000 fans get a Titans-inspired friendship bracelet. A small Eastern Ontario town is a giant celebration tonight of music, dance, sport, and Scottish pride. The Glengarry Highland Games underway with the North America Pipe Band Championships filling the air with the sound of bagpipes. Here's CTV's Camille Wilson.
It's the highlight of the year for Maxville, Ontario. John Matthews is very proud of his heritage.
That's why I carry this hat around, because it literally came from Scotland.
Matthews' grandparents were from Aberdeen, Scotland. He moved to Cornwall nearly 40 years ago, and he's rarely missed a year of the Glengarry Highland Games.
We look forward to it every year. It'd be disappointing if we missed them. Arrange their holidays kind of around this particular weekend.
It's the 77th edition of the Glengarry Highland Games with tartan, pipes and drums, Highland dancing and heavyweight competitions.
We've been told by people from Scotland that we are far more Scottish here than they are back in Scotland. That we celebrate with our kilts and all our tartans and everything that is Scottish culture.
The North American Pipe Band Championships brings bands from all over the world. The population of Maxville is 900. For this event, this tiny community will welcome 25,000 people this weekend.
It is pretty special. You know, I do like to celebrate our heritage.
Proudly wearing tartans, a symbol of heritage.
It's a Wallace tartan, and the whole family has kilts, and we had our own little Highland Games at our cottage one year.
Matthews looks forward to the sound of the bagpipes. It reminds him of his childhood and his mother.
We like to come here, always think of her. She's been gone for quite a few years now, but always think of her when we come here.
The Highland Games runs until Saturday. Camille Wilson, CTV News.
Well, now some other stories you need to know right now. It appears some Canadians are willing to help restore 24 Sussex Drive. Total of $735,000 has been donated so far to rehabilitate the official residence of the Prime Minister. Last month, Mark Carney launched a national design and build competition. The Rideau Hall Foundation is leading the fundraising campaign with a goal of raising $50 million. So far, 3,300 Canadians have donated to the project. Well, the federal government giving the green light to the Crawford Nickel project in Northern Ontario. It's part of the Liberals' effort to fast-track major projects. Environment Minister Julie DeBrusen says the potential environmental effects are justified when taking into account the benefits the project will provide. It's an open-pit nickel cobalt mine and on-site metal mill located about 40 kilometres north of Timmins. The project is expected to attract $5 billion in investment and could create 4,000 new jobs. Ottawa Public Health reminding residents to protect themselves from mosquito bites after the first mosquitoes tested positive for West Nile virus this season. OPH says the mosquitoes were tested during routine trapping. There have been no confirmed or probable human cases reported in Ottawa this year. Well, this is officially the wettest month in Ottawa's history. According to Environment Canada, 281 millimetres of rain was recorded at the Ottawa airport this month. The previous record was 250 millimetres set in 1899.
Here's Bryson Barnes looking for the first touchdown of the game, and they've got it. Touchdown, Red.
No rain tonight for the Ottawa Red Blacks, though. Some good weather as they are looking for their first win of the season. They're hosting the Montreal Alouettes at TD Place tonight, so it's going to be a tall order, but it is the legacy game with the Red Blacks celebrating 150 years of Ottawa football. If you are not heading to the game, you can catch all of the action on TSN or listen on TSN 1200.
They are really at Air Canada's mercy. They have no rights whatsoever.
Still ahead, what do travelers need to know if their WestJet flight is canceled? Are they entitled to compensation? That story coming up.
You're watching CTV News with Patricia Boal.
Country 94. Ottawa's home for the best country music. Listen to Pure Country 94 on the free iHeartRadio app.
Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
Returning now to one of our top stories, the looming strike by WestJet flight attendants. Those affected by the potential disruption will likely be seeking compensation from the airline. It's a scenario Canadian travelers know all too well, especially after last year's Air Canada strike. CTV's Camille Caramali with one family's cautionary tale and what travelers need to know.
If this sight of WestJet flight attendants threatening to strike looks familiar, that's because it probably reminds you of this. Air Canada flight attendants walking off the job last summer, grounding thousands of planes, leaving passengers who say they're still waiting for compensation from the airline nearly a year later.
It's frustrating and upsetting.
One of those is this Toronto couple who say they're out $1,500 after they canceled their Air Canada flight to Miami.
It was one of the situations where we got so angry, we actually just had to laugh about how stupid this was.
The two were worried they would miss their cruise departing from Florida. Not wanting to take a chance, they dropped the Air Canada flight, instead booking a flight with a different carrier, flying out from Cleveland, paying extra for hotels and parking. They say Air Canada eventually ended up canceling their flight anyway on the day they were supposed to take off.
We had canceled our flights. And we explained to them, we canceled our flights because you're canceling flights the day of, and we needed to be able to get to our cruise. Even if we didn't cancel our flight, you canceled our flight.
But passenger rights advocates say that's the wrong call.
They are really at Air Canada's mercy. They have no rights whatsoever.
Arguing passengers' rights apply only when the airline cancels the flight, not when a passenger does.
Wait until your flight is canceled. Give them a chance to rebook you, and if they fail to do so or tell you we don't have any seats, then buy yourself a ticket on a different airline.
For now, a lesson learned for this couple who have this message for passengers who may be facing the same situation with WestJet's strike now looming.
Keep all their seats. Make sure you email them right away, the customer representative. If they say no, just keep emailing back.
Air Canada says it has given the couple credits for the canceled booking, which it says they've already used, but will not be reimbursing them for the extra expenses like hotel and parking costs. Kamal Karamali, CTV News, Toronto.
Canada's gross domestic product beat expectations in May, posting solid growth for a second straight month. BNN Bloomberg's Christine Lee has the details.
Real GDP rose 0.3% in May, lifted by a surge in oil patch activity and increased home resales. Statistics Canada reports 13 of 20 industrial sectors saw expansion during the month, helping push year-over-year economic growth up to 1.7%. Preliminary data suggests growth continued into June. Canada is on track for an estimated 0.8% expansion in the second quarter. WestJet flight attendants could walk off the job as soon as Sunday, putting summer travel plans in jeopardy. The airline company has begun grounding planes ahead of the impending strike. WestJet and union workers remain apart on key issues like unpaid ground work and compensation. Canadian energy giants are posting a strong second quarter. Pipeline operator Enbridge beat profit estimates thanks to higher crude volumes on its mainline system. Imperial Oil beat quarterly profit expectations driven by higher commodity prices. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down to 71.34 US. West Texas Intermediate is up over almost $1 to 84.58 US a barrel. Western Canadian Select is down over $1 to 65.85, and the TSX lost almost 280 points today. Those are your business news headlines. I'm Christine Lee.
They can be quite good at generating a lot of information, and they're very comprehensive.
Many people are now turning to AI chatbots for help with their jobs, movie recommendations, even purchasing a car. But can they be trusted with health advice? That story just ahead.
You're watching CTV News with Patricia Boal. iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford store, and Eastern Ontario's Ford EV leader.
You have got to love a long weekend. Here's our iHeartRadio Weekender, Tanya Taylor. Tanya.
Kicking it off today with the Glengarry Highland Games. The celebration is underway in Maxville through tomorrow, featuring world-class bagpipes, Highland dancing, traditional competitions, and of course, plenty of Scottish pride. Always super fun for the family, or if you have some visitors from out of town, take them to this. Next up today, 613 Flea. Everyone's favorite flea market returns tomorrow to the Aberdeen Pavilion with more than 150 vendors selling everything from vintage and homemade goods to great food and, of course, one-of-a-kind finds. Last on the list today, Le Grand Feu de Casino Lac Limy. It's all underway. It's lighting up the Ottawa River with Canada's first performance in this year's competition happening tomorrow night. As usual, lots more happening this weekend around the capital. For the full list and all the details, check ctvottawa.ca/weekenders. For the iHeartRadio Weekenders, I'm Tanya Taylor. Have a great one.
iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford store, and Eastern Ontario's Ford EV leader.
Well, artificial intelligence is changing the way many of us get our information, and while chatbots can sometimes be helpful, experts say directing health questions at AI could lead to problems. Here's CTV's Pat Foran.
Need health advice? AI chatbots such as ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot, and Google Gemini promise detailed answers in seconds. One survey found 17% of adults ask AI chatbots health questions at least once a month.
There are a lot of reasons you might go to a chatbot for answers.
The chatbots can answer health questions and sound convincing.
They can be quite good at generating a lot of information, and they're very comprehensive and easy to understand.
But experts say these chatbots aren't always reliable. They can make up facts or mix up important details while confidently presenting their answers as correct information.
Fabrications can be hard to detect. It's really hard to know when there are inaccuracies, and these systems do get things wrong. We know that to be true.
People tend to overtrust AI-generated medical advice, a recent study found. Many respondents couldn't tell the difference between an AI-generated answer and one from a real doctor. And there are privacy concerns, too.
AI systems are not bound by the same privacy laws that your doctor's office is.
So whatever information you tell a chatbot could be used, sold, or even stolen in a data breach. The best advice, use AI as a starting point for information, not for diagnosis or treatment. Keep your sensitive personal health information private, and always verify what you learn using trusted sources or a recognized medical organization. And of course,
if you do have questions that are going to affect how you act on your own health, talk to your doctor.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
And they said it just made their whole visit to have that special moment and be part of our park history.
Coming up, a Kingston family will have a great story to tell about their summer becoming a part of history at Canada's Wonderland. We have those details just ahead. Here's another live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. Holding on to the heat out there, still 29 degrees in the capital. It'll cool off a little overnight, slightly cooler tomorrow with a chance of showers for you in the morning, but overall a nice day. We do have more rain on the way on Sunday.
You're watching CTV News with Patricia Boal.
The National Capital Region is jam-packed with incredible experiences you don't want to miss. Hey, it's Tanya Taylor, your iHeartRadio Weekender, powered by Barhaven Ford. Get the inside scoop on all the biggest and best events every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday on CTV, Move 100, Pure Country 94, TSN 1200, and News Talk 580 CFRA. iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barhaven Ford. Find your wild. More Bronco sports, more ways to roam this summer.
Tuesday on Your Morning Ottawa, we head up to the Capital Barbecue patio to show you how to prepare the perfect reverse sear on your steak. Tune in on CTV or stream us live on Crave.
Hairstyles, courtesy of Salon Fiorella.
Your Friday night CTV lineup starts with E-Talk and The Big Bang Theory, Spring Break Murders, Crime Scene Investigators, and the rebuild inside the Montreal Canadiens. Here's a recap of the top stories we are following right now.
This weekend, we will also focus on failed to move over offenses.
The downtown is bustling. Traffic is backed up as people head in and out of town for the August long weekend. It's expected to be very busy in the city with the Ironman taking place on Sunday.
I would probably book a fully refundable flight or find alternative methods just to get there.
WestJet begins parking planes ahead of a looming strike by flight attendants who could walk off the job as early as Sunday.
We need candidates in this election who will commit to, do things like freezing the police budget, because it's clear that the police can't do that on their own.
The Ottawa Police Service projecting at least a $21 million deficit this year, largely due to overtime, but also because of rising fuel prices. One final look at your forecast heading into the long weekend. We have a beautiful evening for you. Increasing cloud overnight. Pleasant in the morning, 20 degrees. We'll see some sunshine through the day, but we do have a slight chance of showers for you tomorrow as well. 27 degrees will be the high. Sunday, the big day for Ironman. Could see some rain. I don't know how competitors feel about that, whether they like it on certain parts of the course or not. But there is a pretty good chance we will see that on Sunday. 24 degrees, so a little bit cooler. Then Monday, the holiday itself, Colonel By Day, 26 degrees with about a 40% chance of showers. Drier on Tuesday, we'll see sunshine and 27. And continuing with warm temperatures, a few 28s on the board for you there into the first full week of August. We want to check in now to see what our news team will be working on this Friday evening before a long weekend. Kimberley Fowler is here.
How do you like this? It's Taylor Swift night at the Ottawa Stadium. So the team, they're handing out some Titans-themed friendship bracelets to the first 1,000 fans there. We'll also have a recap of the Alouettes visiting the Red Blacks tonight at TD Place. Again, the Red Blacks looking for their first win of the season. Again, it's a legacy game, as you mentioned earlier on the show, and the team is celebrating 150 years of Ottawa football. And you can get the news anytime, anywhere at ctvnewsottawa.ca. And join me tonight for CTV News at 11:30.
There are all kinds of alumni players in town. Henry Burris, Brad Snopley, and an alumnus just re-signed. Yeah. Lewis Ward is going to be kicking tonight, so we'll see how that goes. They need some offense on the field. Yeah, absolutely. All right, we want to end with this. Canada's Wonderland celebrating a big milestone. It's 1 billionth rider, and she's from Kingston.
The family was completely surprised. We asked them in advance. We sort of warned them and said, you know, you're actually going to be a milestone rider. Are you okay if we, you know, take your photo and we announce something? We wanted to make sure they were okay with the whole thing. And they were great. They had actually been at the park for 2 days. They had, this was their last day. And they said it just made their whole visit to have that special moment and be part of our park history.
A picture with Snoopy would make my day. Yesterday, Annabelle, Kim, John, and John from Kingston rode the Thunder Run roller coaster, and Annabelle officially became the park's billionth rider. Wonderland opened in 1981, celebrating its 45th season this year, and has been busy.
Yeah, I probably accounted for a good 1,000 of those rides to get her up to the billionth one. Yeah, I spent a lot of time at Wonderland when I was younger.
You did the work.
Yeah.
She gets the reward.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, a lot of people in Toronto love it, obviously, as we love this here in Ottawa. This is the opening night of Les Grands Feux over at the Canadian Museum of History. Night 2 is tomorrow.